Thank you for listening to this episode of the Feldenkrais. I'm your host, Ethan Cowan. Hi, welcome. This is the Feldenkrais, episode 12, To See or Not to See 3. Wow, there have been 2 To See or Not to Sees already. And both of those were on the stomach. Well, it's not exactly true. Both of those had a lot of different things that happened on the stomach, and they kind of, the to see or not to see part was looking over the shoulders to see if you could see the heels. And the whole thing was to see or not to see. It was like, you don't need to see the heels. It's more about the direction that you're going. So this lesson is largely about the eyes, the movements of the eyes, and movements with the eyes open and movements with the eyes closed. And so it's fun for me to present it with a title that would suggest that there are connections between this lesson and those previous to see or not to see lessons, but it's a very different lesson, and the way that Feldenkrais originally taught it was just as an eye lesson. We're getting closer every episode. We're getting closer to the end of season 1, which I'm basing on the first reel of Alexander Yanai lessons. And this comes earlier in the sequence. This is AY5. AY4. I was way off. This is AY10. This is the end of the first reel, but I wanted to put it here because it's kind of like the starting of the end of the first season in my kind of reconception of the order of the first reel. So here it is. Hope you enjoy To See or Not to See 3. Okay, please start by just lying on your back. And then make a few small adjustments so that you're like 5% more comfortable. And if you can, here at the beginning, have your legs long on the floor. And have your eyes open now for a moment. And just see, where is it that your eyes naturally come to rest? Like, what are you looking at? If your eyes have as little muscular tension as possible, like, where are you looking? And then close your eyes and just feel for yourself, like, where do the eyes rest? And then bend your knees, put your feet standing on the floor. And then feel where your eyes are at rest. You know, the two eyes are kind of, they're balls, they're spherical, and they're resting inside of your skull. And now just open your eyes briefly to see, where are you looking now with the legs bent? Is it the same place you're looking with your legs long, or is it slightly or significantly different? I realize that probably sounds like kind of a leading question, like I'm expecting there to be a different place where the eyes are resting, but it's really just a question if they're looking in the exact same direction, the legs long or the legs bent, that's fine. Okay, now just close the eyes and again, just try to have the eyes be as relaxed as possible. One image I heard one time is like the eyes, you could picture that the eyes are lotus flowers that are floating on pools of water. But either way, with the eyes closed, what do you see? Like, what would you see on the insides of your eyelids with the eyes closed? Are there shapes and colors? You can open the eyes and see what you see in the room that you're in. And then again, close your eyes. See what you see with the eyes closed. And then bring both of your hands up to your face. Cup your eyes with your hands so that the hands aren't pressing on the eyeballs themselves, but the hands are covering the eyes. Try to keep all the light out of the eyes so you make it dark for the eyes. And now, what do you see when it's even darker? Is it totally black, or do you see colors and shapes? Are there certain areas of your field of vision with the eyes closed that are darker than others, lighter than others? In other words, is the darkness uniform, or is there some variation in the darkness? And if you're going to stay like this, the two hands cupping the eyes, if you're going to stay there for a while, what are some small adjustments you could make with the hands and the arms, the shoulders, the neck? Make it a little bit more comfortable for yourself to stay like this, the eyes in darkness. Okay, good. Now bring the arms down along your sides and have the legs long. Just lie on your back for a moment with your eyes closed. And for a second, just pay attention to your breathing, to the inhalations and the exhalations. Okay, now leave your eyes closed, but move your eyes over to the right a little bit, and then let them go back to where they start. And a few times like that, you move your eyes over to the right, just as far as they go easily, and then you let them return to the beginning. And now it's not the head that's turning or rolling on the floor, but it's just the eyes moving over to the right and then coming back. And they don't have to go very far. They just go to the right. And when you let them come back to the middle, what's that like? I'm guessing that you don't have to bring them back consciously to the middle, that they spring back to somewhere. Is that your experience? Okay, now pause for a moment with the eyes in the resting position. And then open the eyes. And you just let the eyes rest. Let your visual perception rest somewhere in the room that's as neutral as you can manage. And I'm phrasing it that way because that might be right in front of you in the middle, but it might be not in the middle. It could be down, could be up, could be a little bit more to the left or to the right. So I want you to just let the eyes rest where it feels neutral. It's a muscular feeling, not like a spatial thing. And from that position, without moving your head, just look over to the right. And then let the eyes return to the beginning. So a few times that, you just go slowly with the eyes open, you look over to the right, then you look back to something like the middle, but it's really just the beginning. And just see how far you look to the right easily with the eyes. You don't have to see very far. There's a moment where you could look farther to the right, but it would require that you change like the amount of willpower that you're using. So don't go past that point. Instead, just let everything go back to the beginning. Okay, now stop for a moment, close your eyes, just wait for 15 seconds. And now with the eyes closed, a few times, look over to the left just by moving the eyes. So without turning the head, you're turning the eyes over to the left, and then you let them come back to the starting origin. And without turning your head, you might still feel like some of the muscles in the neck have something to do with turning the eyes. But just see how smooth you can make it. So Make it small and smooth to go to the left and then come back. And then next time you're in the middle, open your eyes. And then continue with the eyes open, so you're actually seeing when you turn the eyes to the left and back to the middle. One thing you could look for is the movement over to the left and then back to the middle a very smooth movement, or does it get broken up into little kind of like sections or jumps? And another thing that's kind of interesting is when you look over to the left and then back to the middle, do you look straight over to the left, or is there a tendency for the eyes to go like to the left and a little bit down, to the left and a little bit up? If you really let the eyes go like in an easy trajectory over to the left, the easiest one you could find, would it be directly to the left, or would it be left and down, left and up? Okay, good. Now close your eyes and just wait for a moment in the middle, or actually wherever the eyes rest. And now with the eyes closed, move the eyes over to the left, just as far as they go easily, and then return them to the middle. And then take the eyes over to the right and back to the middle. And just alternate now, left and right slowly. Just go slowly enough so you can appreciate that there's a difference between taking the eyes to the left and taking the eyes to the right. Maybe more than one difference. But I mean, for most people, one way is going to be relatively easy compared to the other way. Okay, now let it go and just pause for a moment on the back for a little bit longer. And then bend your knees. Have your knees bent so the feet stand on the floor somewhere comfortable. And then bring your hands up so you can cup both of your eyes, so you make it very dark for the eyes. Again, just feel into the darkness, the quality of the darkness, whether it's uniform, there's some variations. And again, make all sorts of little micro adjustments so that the hands get a little bit softer, the arms are a little bit more comfortable. So you could stay like this for a little bit longer. It's like you have a little sustainability initiative with yourself, trying to reduce your your tension footprint. Maybe you could relax something in the back of your neck, or the base of the skull maybe, or somewhere in your back, lower down, the breathing. To make the darkness a little bit more comfortable. And then bring your arms down along your sides and lengthen both your legs. Just lie on your back for a moment. And now, with the eyes closed, just picture that you're going to look along the ceiling over to the right, and you're going to follow a little bug that's crawling along the ceiling. It's moving kind of fast. Well, not really fast, but it's going over until it gets to the wall over to the right of you. And then it starts crawling down the wall. But it's a straight line bug. It's crawling in a straight line down the wall until it gets to the floor. And then it gets to the floor, it's going to crawl in a straight line toward your right ear. But it's not going to crawl into your ear, it's just going to get close, and then it's going to turn around and it's going to go back till it gets to the wall. Then it'll go up the wall till it gets to the ceiling. And then from the ceiling it's going to go all the way back to where it started. But then it's going to do the same thing going over to the left. So this is a thing where in your mind's eye, and also maybe moving your closed eyes, you're going to follow that bug over to the left. But you're not turning your head, you're just following the bug, the eyes in your mind's eye. Gets to the wall over to the left. It goes down the wall until it gets to the floor over to the left. And then on the floor it starts to crawl toward your ear. And you don't want to let your mind's eye lose track of the bug or your eyes, because you don't want it to crawl into your ear. So you watch it continuously. And it has a change of heart and it turns around and it goes back to just the whole thing in reverse. Good. So now with your own sense of timing, you just do this. You don't have to use this bug image if it's too gross or you don't want it, it's not working. But you're gonna, with the eyes closed, trace some activity along all the surfaces of the room that you're in, going all the way over to the right, then back to the middle, all the way over to the left, back to the middle, getting to the point where it's almost like you're looking at your own ears. Kind of an extreme movement. So just go. I'm going to give you a minute to just work with this. So go ahead. Okay, good. Now just let your eyes rest somewhere neutral. Just pause for a moment. And then just think to yourself, dude, how'd you do with such a long time with no instructions? Were you able to stick with this kind of abstract imaginary activity, following this activity all over, to the right and then all the way over to the left? Or did your sense of focus kind of dissolve? There weren't any words to listen to. And then open your eyes. And wherever you're looking to start, now continue with what you're just doing, but with the eyes open. And just you're not going to turn your head at all. You're just going to move your eyes just as far as they go over to the right. Then back to the middle. And then as far as they go over to the left and back to the middle. Okay, good. Now leave that and simply rest for a moment. And again, bend your knees and put your feet standing on the floor. And bring your hands to your eyes so you can cup them, make the environment very dark for your eyes. And now see if you can relax your face. So you could try to relax your cheeks so your cheeks get soft. Your jaw could potentially relax a little bit. The right side of the jaw, the left side of the jaw. Again, the base of the neck, or the base of the skull. The two shoulders, anywhere in the upper arms that you could do a little bit less effort. And now, could you smile in this position? So that the face gets a little bit wider. Okay, nice. Now lengthen your legs again. Bring your arms down along your sides. And now with the eyes closed, squeeze your eyelids a little bit. So you just squeeze the eyelids, squeeze the eyeballs with the eyelids just a little bit, and then you let it go. And in your own rhythm, a few times, just continue like that. So you squeeze the eyeballs, the eyelids, and then you let it go. So maybe it's like the eyelids are giving the eyeballs a hug, a squinch. It's still comfortable, it's loving, but it's a squeeze. But then see if you can have the rest of your face be relatively neutral when you're squeezing. So it's the eyelids that are, the eyes are squeezing, but the rest is kind of passive. And then see if you could smile a little bit while you're squeezing the eyeballs with the eyelids. Okay, now just be neutral for a moment. We're going to reset. And then with just the right eye now, it's kind of, both eyes are going to do something, but it's kind of like you imagined for a moment that the eyes are two separate entities. And you're focused on the right eye for now. So just with the right eye, gently squeeze the eyelids so you kind of pull the eyeball a little bit back into the skull and you let it relax. A few times. Good, and then focus over just on the left eye now. So now you kind of like hug the eye with the eyeball. Sorry. Hug the eyeball with the eyelids. Squeeze it and then let it go. Just the left a few times. And then do both eyeballs again at the same time. So together, you squeeze them and then release. Okay, and now pause again for a moment. And now with the eyes closed, very gently now, you just look with both eyes at the area right in between your two eyebrows. And then gently move the eyes across the forehead, going up until it's like you would see right where the hair starts at the top of the forehead. And then you bring the eyes back down, so you're looking right in between the two eyebrows. Just a few times, it's like you're looking up in the middle, and then back down in the middle, softly. And then next time we're looking in between the two eyebrows, continue to move the eyes down. So you look down the middle of the nose, then down to like right in the middle of the mouth, down to the middle of the chin, and the middle of the throat, right in between the collarbones, and then down the middle of the chest, the middle of the abdomen. You'll run into the navel at some point. And then the middle of the pelvis, down to the pubic bone right in the middle. Whatever sexual organ you have right there. And down, you could start looking down the floor right in the middle between your two legs. Down right in between the middle, between the two knees. Down to the middle between the two heels. And then you slowly come back up the middle. Between the knees to the pubic bone, the abdomen to the navel, up the chest, up the middle of the throat, the middle of the chin, middle of the two lips, a little piece of your nose right in between your two nostrils, up your nose. And then in your own timing, I'll give you maybe 30 seconds, you're going up and down in your mind's eye, the middle of yourself from top to bottom. And as the mind's eye looks, see what happens if the eyes can also turn to look in those directions. And it's kind of tricky probably to look right in the middle because the two eyes do have different personalities, different predilections. So as you're going up and down the middle, you just do your best. You don't have to use force. You don't force yourself to make it correct, but you see what you can do to stay right in the middle. You have the pubic bone, the navel. But then down in between the legs, you really have to get clear. Where's right in between the legs in the middle? Good. Okay. Now, open your eyes and just look in front of you, the ceiling. And start to turn your eyes so that you look up along the ceiling till you get to like a wall that's above your head. And then come back so you're looking in front of yourself. And then start to look down across the ceiling till you get to a wall down there. Maybe you go down the wall a little bit. And so just spend a few moments with your eyes open, just looking up and then looking down in kind of a straight line that's more or less right in front of you. And again, it's interesting to notice whether that line, you follow it continuously with the eyes, or if your muscles section it and make jumps in the line. So you see if the eyes jump from spot to spot on the line, or if it's really continuous following up and down. Good, now continue, but close your right eye and do it just with your left eye open. And then switch eyes, so close your left eye, open your right eye, and just continue and see if it feels the same or feels different. And then again, have both eyes open and look up and down this line, vertical line in front of you. Okay, that's great. Now close your eyes and just lie on your back and wait for 15 seconds. And now bend your knees, put your feet standing on the floor. And bring your two hands up so you can cup your eyes, make darkness for the two eyes, the hands. You try to have the hands very soft, the arms soft, shoulders soft, the back of the chest soft, the lower back soft. The lower abdomen and the front soft, and all of this in support of the darkness that your eyes are in. See if you could smile a little bit with the eyes closed in this darkness. And now if you squeeze the eyes with the eyelids just a little bit, what does that do to the darkness? Does it disturb it at all, or does the darkness stay the same? And what happens to the darkness, like if you're squeezing your eyes and then you release the eyes, what happens to the darkness? Okay, good. Bring your arms down along your sides, lengthen your legs. Now picture a big letter O, a black letter O in front of your face. So it's kind of a thick font, so maybe a bold font O. So it's a circle, and it's black, and it has a white circle in the middle of it. It's the center of the O. And then there's white around the O. And now just imagine with your mind's eye that the O starts to come closer and closer to your face. So the white part in the middle gets bigger, but the black part on the outside also gets bigger. And just imagine that eventually it comes to rest on your face. So it's like all you can see is the white. But then you can move the O off of your face, away from you in a straight line, so that again you start to see the inside border of the O, and then the O gets a little bit smaller, so you can see the outside border of the O. And continue to move it away from yourself. So the O gets smaller and smaller, like it's going out towards an imaginary horizon. Until eventually it's just a little dot way out on the horizon. And then start to bring the O back in the direction of your face. Just notice in your imagination when you can start to tell it's not just a dot anymore, but it actually becomes an O again. You can see the center of it. Then bring it closer and closer to the face so it starts to get bigger. Till eventually it's kind of resting on your face and you can't even see it anymore. And for yourself like that a few times, just it's kind of like you're zooming in, the O's coming closer and then going farther away. In the mind's eye, feel if that it's kind of like the eyes themselves while you're imagining that are looking farther away and then up close again. Okay, good. Leave it alone. Just pause for a moment in the back. And one more time, you bend your knees. Put the feet on the floor where they're comfortable and bring the hands up to cup the eyes. Make a very dark environment for the eyes. And just see what you see. What kind of darkness is it? What kind of shapes are you seeing? Colors? Has the darkness stayed the same throughout the lesson? There are moments when it seemed darker or not so dark. And what is it now? What kind of darkness is it? The uniform darkness? Variegated darkness? Relaxed darkness? Tense darkness? Good, and then bring your arms down along your sides, lengthen the two legs. And with the eyes closed, just feel where the eyes are resting. What direction the eyes would be seeing if the eyes were open, but they're still closed. Then you open the eyes, just see what you're looking at. Where the eyes are resting now, where the gaze is resting. And close the eyes one more time. Bend the knees, put the feet standing on the floor. And let the eyes rest like they're just, the two balls in the eye sockets, pointing whichever directions are most habitual. But whatever directions are comfortable now, really. And then open the eyes and see where you're looking. And then roll to one side and bring yourself up to sitting and up to standing. And you just stand for a moment with the eyes open. Feel the carriage of the head, how the head is resting on top of the neck, and where the two eyeballs are in the skull. How does that feel when you're standing? Maybe look a little bit up, a little bit down. And look a little left and a little right. You practiced all of those movements in a very decontextualized way. So now feel, when in the context of standing, what does it feel like to look up and down and left and right? And you can start to let the head, follow the eyes. When you're looking right, the head can turn to the right. Looking left, you can really just let the head follow the eyes wherever the eyes lead. Good, and then just walk around the room a little bit and feel how the walking is. Thanks again for listening to this episode of the Feldenkrais. If you'd like to reach out and say hello, please do. You can email me at ethan@feldenkrais.com. I offer the Feldenkrais in a spirit of transparent generosity. If you have enjoyed your experience, and if you want to give back, please check out the Patreon page. It's patreon.com/Feldenkrais. Right now, this podcast is just a baby. We have, on average, 10, 12 listeners per episode. So if you'd like to help the Feldenkrais grow, please share this episode or any other episode that you've enjoyed, especially with family and friends. Thanks again for listening. I'm really enjoying this project, and I hope you are too.